So it's the second week of November 2022, and the news, because negativity sells, is blowing up with job layoffs, mortgage meltdowns, realtors going to get W-2 jobs because they can't make it, all sorts of news. And although some of that is true, it's not as bad as it seems yet. So let's talk about the real estate market here quick, because what's going to happen is pricing controls the world. I've said it before, I've said it again, and I'll say it again. Mortgage payments, car payments, and anything payment-wise is what runs the United States market. With our infinite banking system that's based on debt, payments is where people thrive. If something costs $1 million and the payment on it is $1,000 a month, it doesn't matter. As long as they can afford that $1,000 a month payment, they will buy it. So let's talk real estate for a second. The real estate market is starting to cool down because there's a disconnect between pricing of sellers and where buyers are willing to pay for the product. And inventory levels are going up. Homes, days on market are going up because it is taking longer to sell a property now, because there's a smaller amount of buyers out in the market because a lot of people cannot afford the high payments with 8%, 7% interest rates. So that disconnect is going to go there, but real estate is really slow moving. So if you're thinking about selling right now, while we're at the beginning of the downturn in the cycle, and it's, according to data, it looks like it's the fastest downturn that we've ever had in history, from the stock market to real estate pricing to everything else. So everything seems to be going down like a roller coaster. And depending on where you hit that roller coaster is where you're going to cash out. But a lot of this is pricing. It's all based on price and the value that the buyer sees. So if your property is turnkey, ready to go, the biggest buyers right now are first-time home buyers, VA, FHA, down payment assistance programs, all sorts of things that didn't have a chance to purchase in the last 2 years because the competition was so big. So what that means for you as a home seller is, if you're looking to get the most equity out of your property today, the best time to sell for you is right now, because the real estate cycle takes years to completely bottom out and get back to the low level before it starts going up again. It's the slowest moving sector of our whole economy, and that makes up 20% GDP. So it's a very large sector, but it moves very, very slowly. So the more time that you hold off thinking that prices are going to change, interest rates are going to come down, the more money you're going to lose, because it is a slow moving cycle. So real estate sales are slowing down, interest rates are up, and the biggest sector, 29%, according to Redfin data, article published November 8th, 29% of all sales that were done in the third quarter were new construction sales, because builders are buying down rates, builders are offering crazy incentives, builders are looking to get rid of their inventory. And the reason why they're doing that is because builders operate on, it can be one community, but it has a bunch of different LLCs in it. So the developer is one company, the builder is another company, and so on and so on. And all these different parts of it have debt on it, usually short-term debt that has adjustable rate mortgages, interest only. So if they have to hold it for more than a year, they need to refinance that debt. And right now, with the higher interest rates, it's very hard for them, even for big corporations like Lennar, Pulte, MI Homes, all these national builders. So they need to get this inventory off of their books as fast as possible. So if you're looking for new construction and you're in a great place where you have savings, you have the down payment, you have financial security, and you're ready to purchase, right now is a great time to take advantage of new construction, because the builders are fire sailing all these properties out. They do have a lot of deals that are falling through the cracks because it took so long to build. People came in to build at 3%, 3.5%, and now rates are 7.5%, and those people can no longer afford the payment. They no longer qualify. So the inventory that's coming back to the builder that they thought was sold before is now coming back on the market. With that being said, as long as you're ready right now. And remember, real estate, especially right now, more than ever, is a long-term game. If you plan to stay in your property for 5 to 10 years, I don't think it matters what pricing does, what, mortgage rates do or whatever else. As long as you're able to weather the storm in the short term, you will be completely fine off in the long term, because it's getting more expensive to build. There's not more land being built ever, especially in high demand areas, best school districts, lakes, lakeshore, oceanfront, close to the ocean, depending on what market you're in. So make sure that you understand that if you are able to buy now, I would definitely recommend that you buy now, as long as you're ready. So stop listening to the news, stop looking at the market, stop looking at what everyone's doing, because essentially you are buying down your own debt and getting an asset for it, controlling inflation. With that being said, the negativity is going to be out there. The bad publicity is going to be out there for all sorts of job layoffs, interest rates, and everything else in our economy. It's just the times that we're in right now. But remember this, you can't get sunshine without storms, and sunshine always comes after a storm. And the short-term thinking will not get you the financial long-term effects. So stop thinking short-term and start focusing on the long-term, because real estate is a long-term game, no matter what anyone says. Flippers that are trying to flip right now are being burned, losing money, can't sell their product for the prices that they thought they were going to sell it for, and now are going back to the drawing board to try to refinance these deals out, make them into rentals, or sell them for a loss and bring money to the table just to get out of the deals, just so they're not stuck holding on to that product. The demand is very low. There's this article that just came out for Wells Fargo that 90% demand destruction compared to last year, which was a crazy time. And, the comparison between this year and last year are not an apples to apples comparison. It's more apples to oranges, because we were shut down. Everyone was locked down. Nobody could do anything for such a long time. So all that pent up demand came out at the same time. And that's why we saw $50, $60, $100, $200,000 above asking price, multiple offers. People were throwing in their kids, college funds, whatever else they had to do to purchase these properties while the interest rates were low, because the demand was super high. So just remember, no matter what the market does, no matter what the news says, no matter what anything happens, transactions will still be happening, and they'll be happening at a slower pace, but they will still be happening. So no matter what, reach out if you have any questions, if you fall behind on your mortgage, if you can't afford it, if you come across a property that you inherit and you don't want. There's ways to get you out of these situations without the bankruptcy, without the foreclosure. You still have probably a lot of equity in your property, and there are lots of programs out there to help you. So that's your real estate update for today. We're in the second week of November. Thanks so much. Tune in next week, and we'll keep you updated as much as we can. And again, no pressure at all. We're licensed in Minnesota and Southeast Florida. So if you have any questions about those two markets specifically, please feel free to reach out. These Redfin statistics are national statistics, so every market is always going to be different. Every real estate market has a micro market built into it that can be completely different from 10 miles, 20 miles away. Micro markets are all real estate, what it does. There's a national, and then there's micro markets that determine whether your price goes up, goes down, goes sideways, doesn't matter. So feel free to reach out. My name is Stas Manchek. I'm here to serve you. Please reach out at any time. Thanks so much for watching.